I'm Michael P. Haymans, and I'm here to talk to y'all about law and society. I've been here in Charlotte County since 1960. I was born in Florida, as was my mom and dad, but you know, we all come from someplace. But I've been blessed to be able to be here in Southwest Florida, Charlotte County, since 1960. Graduated from Charlotte High School in 1972. We've got a 40-year class reunion coming up this summer on the 6th and 7th. If you haven't heard about it yet, then listen up. We've got a couple of things going on. There's a golfing outing that Mark Christensen is coordinating. Get in touch with him in order to deal with that. There's a dinner on Saturday, and Jenny Ash is how you might have remembered her. Jenny Ash Mulligan is who you coordinate with concerning that. There's a Facebook page. Go to it. So that's the 40-year class reunion. And there's going to be a number of people swimming in the Freedom Swim on the 4th of July from that group. Looking forward to that. A lot more to come on the Freedom Swim today. That's basically the main topic of our themed conversation. I've been practicing law here in Charlotte County since 1983. I came back from school in the military and came to the Farr Law Firm in 1983. Got a chance to practice with my dad for about 9 years before he went on the bench. And I continued with the Farr Law Firm until 2.5 years ago. I launched out on my own. I'm now located at 215 West Olympia Avenue in Punta Gorda, Florida. The phone number there is 941-575-0007. You can go to the website and contact me through there. There's an email, or you can give me a phone call. The website is www.mphayMans.com. And since I've been out on my own, I've been building a zoo here at WCCF News Radio 1580. It's an AM station, and it also, as you well may know if you're listening out there on the internet, it streams live, and it's also, we have often Peter Tari in documenting the show, and he posts some things about it later on in the week. Sometimes comes to the weekend, but he covers Punta Gorda and Charlotte County in such a great way, and I'm very proud that he has got he's following me here a little bit. Thank you, Peter. Here in the studio, I've got Larry T. He's a great disc jockey from with the Clear Channel team. He's with Kicks Country, and he's got Sunday Nights. Tell us about that just a little bit, Larry.
Oh, Sunday Nights, it's all about Americana, alt country, folk, blues, the roots of music. We get to the roots of things.
Yeah. Well, you do a great job, and you're really a great asset to musical aspects of our community, and thank you very much. Thanks for hanging in there and being here on the radio. This is a call-in show, and I'll try to say the number a couple of times, particularly when we get into the talk about the Freedom Swim. The studio line here is 206-1580. 206-1580, or toll free if you're outside of the local area, and that's 888-441-1580. 888-441-1580. So give us a call. If it's not interrupting anything that I really need to get through, I try to pick up as it comes in. If you get on and it's not picked up right away, please hang on. We'll get to you. And so, building a zoo. We just last week went for the first time for a 55-minute format, and that's what we're in today. And so we'll be here until the top of the hour, right at noon, at which point you'll go into the other broadcasting that they have here.
Boo.
Yeah, I'm stuck between some fairly opinionated people, and they have their own shtick.
Agenda.
And I guess mine's I hope a little bit more that talks about competing values, and so let's see how that goes. The title of the show, Building a Zoo, arose from a book that I read. It's a song that I wrote after reading the book by David Quammen. He's a writer. He lives in Montana. He wrote an Outside magazine is where we first started seeing his work, Natural Acts. And then he wrote a book called The Song of the Dodo, It's island biogeography in the time of extinctions. And I'll play you that song. Remember the dodo, the passenger pigeon. Makes you think about the condors. Wanna save them all from extinction. Like the Carolina parakeet calls us to the whooping crane. Lord, I hope all this saving we've started, it's not in vain. We're building a zoo. Wild things are dying, what should we do? We're building a zoo. Save them now or say I do. Build crossings for the panthers. Reintroduce the wolf. Make local grizzly bear parks and near Shawata's manatee pools. Put a fence around the wild lands to keep all the people out. Grow smallpox in a petri dish and lock it up in a vault. We're building a zoo. Wild things are dying, what should we do? We're building a zoo. Save them now or say I do. We're in a time of extinctions. It's happened before. Ask a saber-toothed tiger, a woolly mammoth, or a dinosaur. And from the cosmic perspective, does it matter at all? Destined for our sun to burn out, season cycle to the fall. Mankind is part of nature. We are all part of God. Here we are now acting and being acted upon. We know we ought to tread lightly, dance in time to nature's funky beat. Still eradicate exotics in our guilt that we call weeds. Building a zoo. Wild things are dying, what should we do? We're building a zoo. Save them now or say I do. We think our wilderness must be managed. God's gardeners, we assume our role. Rank dispersion and displacement, it's unacceptable, it's out of control. Well, how responsible are we for how we change what we do not control? I think the strength of our efforts sometimes is the weakness in our results. Building a zoo. Wild things are dying, what should we do? We're building a zoo. Save them now or say I do. So remember the dodo, the passenger pigeon, and think about the condors. Wanna save them all from extinction. Like the Carolina parakeet, be called to the whooping crane. But pray, Lord, I hope all this saving we've started, it's not in vain. Building a zoo. While things are dying, what should we do? zoo? Are we building cages for them or me and you? Well, we build a lot of cages for me and you, I have to tell you that. And we cage them, we actually cut up the landscape so that the wild things don't actually have the places to live that they used to. It causes scarcity, it causes isolation, it causes an opening for other species to rankly disperse and distribute and displace the other parts of life. The web of life is so complex. We don't really have the ability to comprehend it completely. We can know it's complex. We can know, like we can know about our feeling about God, that it's so complex, so hard to understand that we might not ever get there rationally. And so with God, I know that we accept faith as the substitute for rational thought. And with man, I'm not sure if we can get there. But what we can know is that it's very complex. And we ought to be sensitive to that complexity and don't take for granted that we're so small and insignificant that we can't impact it, at least from the short term. We do. We cause all kinds of things. We have species that are endangered. I deal with humans that have become extinct in this radio show. And it's sort of a continuum of some of that same thing. How do we deal with this world, this life that we have? How do we deal with it from a spiritual and physical and cultural aspect? Well, some of that in the European expansion into the Western Hemisphere, there was all kinds of taking advantage of the people that were already here. There was taking from them natural resources. There was taking from them land. There was taking from them ideas, but very resistant. As a matter of fact, prohibited many of their ideas of their spirituality from being continued to be expressed and educated, and forbidden, actually, some of the Native Americans. But we did get some things, and we don't give enough credence to that. In a book called Indian Givers, How the Indians of the Americas Transformed the World, it's by Jack Weatherford, he takes a look in a very well-documented, but also in a conversational tone, he takes a look at some of that. And in this political season that we have, that seems never to end, but it gets thicker and then less thick and thicker. We're in the thick of the political season. Some of the things that we could have learned and became part of our system really came from the Indians, because they didn't really have a great king or lawgiver or one unified church. There was each of these groups called themselves the people, and they had associations and they talked with other people. But actually, Benjamin Franklin had a lot of interaction with particularly the Iroquois, and some of our democratic roots come from these North American Indian groups, and the English colonies of North America, there was evidence of Indians demanding a franchise and free elections in order to maintain their political values. In almost every North American tribe, clan, or nation for which we have detailed political information, the supreme authority rested in a group rather than an individual. It took many generations of close interaction between colonists and Indians before the principles of group decision-making replaced the European traditions of relying on a single supreme authority. The importance of these Indians' councils and groups showed clearly in the English lack of words to explain such a process. One of the most important political institutions borrowed from the Indians was the Caucus. Even though the word appears to be proper Latin, and some law students with a semester of Latin occasionally decline the plural as cauci, The word comes from the Algonquin languages. The caucus permits informal discussion of an issue without necessitating a yea or nay vote on any particular question. This agreed with the traditional Indian way of talking through an issue or making a powwow. It made political decisions less divisive and combative. The caucus became a mainstay of American democracy, both in the Congress and in the political and community groups all over the country. The caucus evolved into such an important aspect of American politics that the political parties adopted it to nominate their presidential candidates. In time, this evolved into the political convention, which still functions as an important part of contemporary American politics, but is largely absent from European politics. So, caucus. When we come in and we wipe out things and we don't understand or don't appreciate their culture, we lose that opportunity to interface, to take on the good parts of things. Here we had some of it that survived, and this book is really interesting. Please look it up if you're interested. Indian Givers is the title, and the subtitle is How the Indians of the Americas Transformed the World. It's by Jack Weatherford. It's well worth the read. Community. We've got some things happening here in our community coming up this weekend I want to talk about. One is the flea market on Punta Gorda Historical Train Dock, Saturday, June 16th. They have it, I think, every third Saturday is when it is, and it's 8:30 to 2 p.m., and that's there at the old train depot in Punta Gorda, the historic Punta Gorda train depot, and it's Antiques and Collectible Mall, and they have an outdoor flea market which runs from 8:30 to 2 on the third Saturday of each month. There's no setup charge, just supply your own table. 2 table spaces free, but must be reserved. So to save your space or for more information, call 639-6774 and come and sell or shop. The pleasure is yours. The Punta Gorda Historical Society provides this community venue for displaying treasures while exposing residents to the historic train depot. Please go by and see. You know, this weekend is Father's Day. Is that right? Father's Day. I'm going to be out of town, and so I'm not going to be able to come to this. But at Post 103, there on Taylor Road, there is Fathers Eat Free. It's a breakfast buffet this Sunday, and it's 8 till 11. And it's Post 103, the American Legion. It's open to the public. You don't have to be a member of the American Legion. And fathers eat free, dads eat free, and it's $4 for anybody else, $4 each for anybody else that comes. So, and that's at the American Legion, and this is a combined effort of the American Legion and Pam, the owner of Frank's Place. Frank's Place was a breakfast place there on 17 that's now moved to the American Legion, to Post 103, and it's open to the public, and they're open Thursdays through Saturday from 6 till 2 for breakfast and lunch, and then on Sundays, on typical Sundays, from 6 till 1, and it's open to the public. So take advantage of that. It's a good restaurant. Pam Hamilton has been here for a long time. You probably remember her from back at the Smokehouse days on there at Cooper, and now she's had this other place, the Frank's Place out on 17, that's now moved to its new location at Post 103 at the American Legion. It's open to the public. Stop by, take advantage of that. Support Pam, support the American Legion. We've got Executive Cooling and Heating is a sponsor of mine, and they've been at it for a long time, since 1988. Executive Cooling and Heating has provided Southwest Florida with unparalleled service and installation of residential and commercial comfort systems. At Executive Cooling and Heating, they offer only the highest quality products to their customers, and when it's time to purchase an air conditioning system, put your comfort in the hands of Executive Cooling and Heating. They're fully licensed and insured. They have a strong community commitment. It's Joe Becker and Tom Haas, good guys. They're trustworthy, been around a long time. You'd want them as friends. You'd want them as neighbors. You definitely want them for your cooling and heating maintenance, repairs, and new installation. Call them at 637-9800. I've got a little bit of more music for you here. This is Nancy Lisby gave me a compilation of music, Florida folk life collection from the State Library and Archives of Florida, and it's got some of the things that I've played over time. It has that "Shove It On Over" by Zora Neale Hurston, and I'm going to do a couple of things off of it today. This next one that's about to come on is "Which Way Did My Baby Go?" and it's by Moses Williams.
William, he tried to do a little thing, or tried to do something other besides flying that long ear mule. That's why I left home. Fly. But I told her wait till I get back.
So I was gonna say, too bad the Native Americans couldn't like raise the price of buffalo to apply political pressure like they do with oil.